Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Wednesday, March 21st, 2018. Now what we've got going on today is the moon hanging out right here in Taurus, which brings our attention to stability, security with Taurus. Also money. A lot of times money coming in normally in Taurus, how we can bring more money to us. Confidence, how we can increase our confidence, what skills and gifts and talents that we have to feel uniquely ourselves. What else comes in with Taurus? Your values, the things that are important to you in some way. Okay, so that's what we're focusing on today. Now at the end of yesterday, so yesterday into today, we had the moon here in a square with the nodes. All right, finding stability and security in our life super important when it happens, when a planet squares the nodes. Basically saying that in order for us to do the North Node thing here, to find more happiness in our life, to put our life in the right direction, we need to make sure that we are doing the Taurus thing where the moon is, finding that stability and security in life. And I think if we can stabilize things in some way, be more confident now with where our life is and with where our life is going, it's then going to help us open up some doors that we need to start to move forward. All right, so that was going on yesterday. While that was happening with the moon in the square to the nodes yesterday evening, the moon was also in a sextile with Neptune. So I think anything that you can do to start to be confident in who you are, find more of that stability in life, believe in yourself, use your gifts and skills and talents, I think was helping you in some way to be more comfortable with yourself and who you are on the inside. Also possibly with Neptune to overcoming the past, like I've been talking about for a while, so that we can finally begin to move forward and to feel much better stepping into a new or different life. All right, so that's what was going on yesterday. I'm going to delete that so things don't get too crazy in my chart. Now we get into this morning, and at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, we have the moon making a trine to Pluto in Capricorn. So as we're trying to build more of that stability in our life, remember, things have been crazy for a while. We've had Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius in a mutable sign. I love Sagittarius, but sometimes when you got Saturn in the sign and it's mutable and you've got Mars there, things are up and down. They change a lot from one day to the next. And then we have the moon here in Taurus, a fixed sign, saying, okay, now that Mars is out of Sagittarius, now that Saturn's gone, how can you stop having everything be up in the air all the time, and how can you start to stabilize things out, focus, pick one thing that you really, really value, or a few things that are really important, and move forward on it. And I think that's what we're trying to decide today. In the past day or two, okay? With the moon making this trine to Pluto at 8 a.m., what I think is going on is now that we're trying to build more of that stability and security in our life, to commit to something moving forward, we're realizing that in order for us to do what we need to do, okay, to stabilize things, that maybe there are still some more changes and readjustments that it is that we need to make in order to move forward. Or maybe there are more feelings from inside us that are coming forth that we then need to deal with so that we can move forward. Okay, but this is very different than the kind of changes we've been making the past few days and weeks and months. These are not changes to do something new, to throw everything out of alignment and make everything crazy. They're like changes here to do what you need so that you can finally move forward in a way that feels less all over the place, in a way that feels more secure. So it's not a good day to like throw everything to the wind, but it's a good day to make a few changes that are going to bring more stability into your life and not less of it. And I think that's what we're trying to figure out here, is how can we finally start to pick one or two of the few things that we're doing and begin to build on it, so that everything is just better and not as insane as it has been. Okay, so that's what's coming in at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. Then 2 hours later, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, the moon moves through Taurus and opposes Jupiter. Okay, and that again is kind of interesting because with Jupiter in Scorpio, a Pluto-ruled sign, there could definitely be a tendency to continue to want to change things. Maybe even some more deep, intense feelings coming up beneath the surface about things that we don't like about our life, things that we do like, things we want that we don't have coming in. And I see a huge focus today being, okay, I get that you want to make changes. I get that you have lots of intense feelings about your life, about where your life is going, about things that you want, but you have to find a way to make sure that you can finally start to settle in to all of this stuff going on and to start to build on it. All right, and maybe you got some changes you want to make still, and maybe you have some feelings going on, but you need to find a way to make those that's not nearly as destabilizing as it has been the past few weeks and months. All right, that's what I see going on here. And of course, this is going to be a big focus the next month or two, because the Sun and Venus are going to eventually be moving into this spot, making these same aspects. All right, and we're just now starting to realize, as we're moving forward on some new identity, that we can't keep changing things the way we were. We have to pick something, we have to focus, we have to move forward on it, and we can't keep trying all these things. Okay, so that's what's coming in with the moon in Taurus, making the opposition to Jupiter. Then at 8 p.m. at night, so 8 hours later, Mountain Time, the moon is going to sextile Chiron. So what I think that's saying is that anything you can do to bring more of this stability into your life, to focus on the things that you value, to understand what's important to you, maybe there's some prioritizing that's got to go on here, then that's going to help you to feel better, to overcome some things that have been hurting you, to move forward in some way, being more confident about your life, doing more of the things that you want, that you think are going to get you in the right direction, and moving forward. Okay, so I see that being positive. Then at midnight tonight into tomorrow, the moon's going to enter Gemini, and that's going to bring, after focusing on being determined and dedicated and finding the stability all day and being disciplined, that's then going to bring a lot more of a lighter energy when the moon enters Gemini tomorrow. Okay, it could bring lots of conversations going on, lots of communication, lots of thinking. Now that we're starting to build more of this security into our life, get a better idea of what's going on so that we can feel better about everything, now we're starting to think about it and communicate and feel more free to think and communicate, knowing that everything's not going to change on us like any second, any moment. Okay, and so I think we're starting to settle in now with the moon moving into Gemini, with our life, with everything that's happened lately, so that we can then start to feel more comfortable with it in some way. Okay, midnight. Then after that happens, right after 1 a.m. into tomorrow, that's where I'm talking about now, the moon then is going to sextile the Sun. Okay, as it's on its way to becoming a first quarter moon. And when the moon sextiles the Sun, I think you thinking here about your life and about what's going on and communicating about what's on your mind and what you've been doing lately to make this shift from an old life to a new life, I think communicating, talking, and thinking about it is going to be really positive to help you move forward, see yourself in new and different ways, especially with Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, starting to go retrograde this week. I think this sextile here coming into tomorrow is really going to help you start to think in new and different ways about who you are and understand better what's going on and get more comfortable. I think that's what it is. Get more comfortable with everything that has occurred and with the change that is going on in your life. Okay, so that's what I see going on there for today. Now, other stuff happening in the background. We do have the Sun slowly coming off of Chiron. You could still be feeling a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit sensitive about life. Some sore spots coming in with the Sun close to Chiron, but I think those are hopefully getting less and less. We're moving away from some hard times into a time that's better. All right. We also do, especially now that the Sun's in Aries, which brings more initiation, more doing things, a time to act, especially with a bunch of planets in Aries. With the Sun coming off of Chiron, it could still be hard for us to act because we still have some things we're hurt about coming in, but I think the further the Sun moves away from Chiron, we start to feel more free to do things, to move forward in a way that just feels better, right? Also, Mars about to square the sun coming in, again starting to bring you, as we move throughout this week towards the end of the week, I think on Friday and Saturday when it's going to become exact, more motivation to start to do things, to start to make things happen, to start to put your life in a better spot and to move it in the right direction. And I think right now we're starting to slowly see that things in our life are changing. They're not the way they once were, and to wake up to this possibility, okay, and to feel more free to do things, especially now that the sun's coming off of Chiron. But I don't think that action is going to hit us. I don't think we're fully going to feel like, okay, it's ready to make things happen until Friday and Saturday when the sun makes this trine with Mars. Or sorry, square with Mars, excuse me. Mars too, being in Capricorn, a sign that really likes, I think, being very positive to do things in a way that will last, in a way that can stick, and to do things with less obstacles than you have in the past. All right, so it may be a little slow going this week in order to make real progress, but I think once we get to the end of the week, when we start doing things, we can finally start to feel like we're moving forward at a faster pace than we have been recently, okay, with the Mars square coming in and with everything now out of Pisces. All right. So that's what we've got there. We also do have Venus in a conjunction with Mercury, even though they're moving apart now, bringing up conversation still about relationships and about money. A lot of thinking as well about that coming in. With Venus, of course, being in its sign of detriment, I believe these conversations, especially about money and relationships, could be a little bit challenging here, but just needing to do your best, again, to not rock the boat. Don't avoid hard conversations, but, you know, don't make them worse either if you don't need to. All right, so that's coming in. Another thing that could be a little bit challenging, as Mercury and Venus are making this conjunction with Venus in a sign it doesn't like, Venus also is about to square Pluto, again bringing up lots of changes in relationships that could be hard, because Pluto can be difficult and squares can be difficult. So lots of changes also coming in relationships too, that may not feel the best coming in. And some of these changes in relationships may be a result of some conversations that it is that you've had earlier, or some things that you have been thinking. All right, and making these changes with relationships and with money too, to hopefully put them in a place that feels more comfortable to you personally. We also do have Jupiter in a sextile with Pluto starting to come in. It was there earlier this year, but it's coming back again now that Jupiter is retrograding. I think, again, bringing behind the scenes, even if we can't feel it, lots of opportunity in a very positive way to start to feel much better about all of the changes that you've been making lately in your life. Okay, I think we tried to make a lot of changes. A lot of things were crazy at the beginning of this year, and I think Pluto and the sextile with Jupiter are saying, okay, now it's time for you to feel better with all of this stuff that you've been changing, to put your life in the right place, to build more of that stability, especially with the moon in Taurus, with the sun coming there, Venus coming there, moving in. And I think we're going to start to have the chance here to slowly start to do some things in a better way that can get our life in the place that we want. And then as we move further into May, to start to feel more comfortable with it, and to start to feel like everything we did in January had purpose, was worth it, and was paying off. And it's slowly going to start to come together here, I think, in the next few weeks, to start to see the picture of our life, of where we're going, and for us to start to feel like we are moving there with less restrictions and less of the problems that have been bogging us down. Okay, so that's what I've got for you. Now, your card is the, ooh, I love it. This is the Five of Pentacles reversed. This is one of the few cards in the deck you want reversed. This is us coming out of a hard time. Things have been hard lately. This has been us alone in the dark, walking through the snow, outside a church looking for help. And now that's no longer us. This is reversed. We're coming out of a hard time. We're walking out of the snow. We've maybe got some assistance from the people in the nearby church, or if you want to consider it a home, from the nearby home. And I think this week, as I've been saying in the astrology, today is going to be a good day to come out of a hard time that you've been having recently, to start to find the help that you need, to start to move forward, to start to find clothes. If you've been homeless, come out of the snow, get warm, okay, and to start to see where things are going. And I think that's what's happening today. Things are turning around, I like to think, for the better, and we just have to do what we can to not let our past get the best of us, and to realize this new place that we're going, and to start to get more comfortable with it as we move on. And I think if you can do that, things, right, are going to start to fall into place. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I I will talk to you later.